How to go from 17 to 10% body fat in 8 weeks. My name's Hoiston JR. I help men get into elite level conditioning where I produce results week on week and we talk about how we achieve these results. Now today's transformation is my client Kies and we did this in 8 weeks. So we went from 17% body fat, no abs, it's already lean, to crispy level 10% body fat. So now I'm going to talk about, first of all, before I talk about the setup, guys, so the training, the nutrition, how we made the changes to make sure we dropped off a kilo, the diet plan, what foods he ate, we need to talk about your mindset very, very quickly. And this may bore you, if you want to get to the tactics straight away, let me just tell you something that if I give you everything for free, the training, nutrition, everything which I'm going to show you, you'll still fuck up. You won't get to this end goal. Why? Because to get a result like this, it starts with a mental transformation. You clicked on this video because one, you're like, I want to have the knowledge to be able to do this by myself, which you will. But two, importantly, you're not happy with your physique right now. If you're around 17% body fat, so you're not too fat, but you're not too shredded, too lean, that means you're not satisfied. And as a man or a woman, you're not maximizing your potential. So therefore, when you wake up, that's your first sight. You're already having a negative mind. You're like, and then that's going to affect when you're walking to work. I'm not that energized. I'm not that happy. Like, why do you want to walk around earth feeling, I'm not that what if? Like, guys, if you're a young man in your early 20s, especially, you need to maximize your potential. In your 30s, where I work with people that are around 30 years old, come on, life's getting serious. You need to be a role model for your kids, for your wife. You want more women, you want high quality women. It starts with you, So you have to understand that where you are right now, it's not good enough. It is the 1.0 version. Yeah, your current habits is where you are right now. I always say, you are what you do every single day. The media you consume, so the content, the social media, the girls you talk to, the access you let people to have with you, your friends, your nutrition, what you eat every single day. Like, you are what you do every day, guys. I'm going to talk about my story, my personal transformation. I'm 22. I have my own business with over 25 clients right now that I do full time, after uni. So I already had it. Like, I don't have it all figured out, but I'm in a good position, guys. And that's because I looked in at the age of 20 before flipping uni, the first year of uni, and I was like, I'm gonna have my routine. And the biggest thing that changed that is through I got my physique right. I became the man first. Yeah. So therefore, if you want to get to 10% body fat, you have to act like the 2.0 version, guys. So it looks back down to your habits. At the first week, it's going to be hard, but you need to create a new routine. This is the first step. When people join my team, if you came and worked with me, after we set you up on call, we would give you a 40-minute document lecture where it's a pre-recorded call, and it talks about how to create your new routine. What mantras, what phrases do you say to yourself every single day? Because you see how I said it's our identity transformation. Yes, it's our this is identity transformation via body recon. Yeah. So therefore, you're gonna look at your what time you wake up, what time you go to sleep, what time you go to the gym, and you're gonna slowly reduce the bad vices. So such as the 1.0 version of you where you are right now, you just compare it to, okay, cool. What does the 10% body fat version of me, what does he not do and what does he do? For example, he does 10k steps every day. That's a new habit rather than less than 5k steps a day. Unacceptable. I don't care how busy you are. If you are doing less than 5k steps, fitness is just not a priority to you. And that speaks volume about your character, guys. So for example, you do 10k steps, you fix your sleep 7 to 9 hours per day. You prep your meals. You log your morning weight every day. You working with me and you're going to do this journey, you have to track all data because data is how you base decisions to make sure are things working, and plus it holds you accountable. You're logging your morning weight every day. Do you have the discipline to do that? Other habits, deep down, guys, the bad habits you need to get rid of. What does the 2.0 version of 7%, what does he do? And therefore it's going to change your characteristics. Like, on this journey, this is what I'm saying, physique transformation upgrades your life, because it's the new discipline that you achieve through it, guys. You have to be disciplined to stick to a meal plan. You have to be disciplined to go to the gym when you're tired. You have to be disciplined when you want to stick to a diet, but you're hungry as fuck, especially in the back end of the dieting phase. And I'll be real, this transformation, to be fair, yes, it took 9 weeks, because he had 1 week where literally the week before he was going to be done, he fucked up, you know? And this is where I said, look, bro, this is when you got to raise the standard. So even him, he wasn't as perfect. And I'm not saying you need to be perfect, but this emphasizes the importance of you need to change your identity. Look at the two different faces, yeah, their facial expressions. Sad, probably like you not maximizing full potential. To him, he's that guy. He's posing like he's a model, like he's Superman, because that's the type of confidence you get when you walk around Earth in the best shape of your life. Yeah, you can talk to that girl. So this is what I'm saying with such conviction, such passion, that look, if you skip these 5 minutes and skip to the tactics, cool. Yeah, that's the equivalent of going on ChatGPT, following a plan. But there's a reason why you're not fucking in shape. It's because of your identity, bro. Change this. And so it starts with your daily practice, like I'm saying, and yeah, it changes your identity. So look, guys, this is why you need to have a routine. Create that first before you after you watch this video, and then you can follow the tactics. But here I'm just giving you the knowledge. But as you can see, wicked transformation, and this is the standard that I get with my clients. So free game. Let's talk about it. So the setup here is when he first came to me, he was 89.45 kg. We estimated his body fat was about 17. So when you're estimating your body fat percentage for when you do this, guys, is that you can use a physique chart online of body fat percentages. Now, if you really want to go in depth how to do this, I've made 3 videos, part 1, part 2, part 3, of beginner to elite shape. Like, watch that video so then you can come back to this video so you have full knowledge of what to do, guys. So we placed him on 2,000 calories, 30 minutes daily cardio. He was on a 5-day split and 10k steps. Now, looking back, when I did this last year, August, of him, we went pretty aggressive with the calories, 2,000. So we sat him probably 400 calories straight away below maintenance. And why we did that is because, one, he had a lot of muscle. So therefore, when you have a lot of muscle, you'll be most responsive to fat loss efficiently just through dropping food. And if you see, obviously week 1 to week 8, we didn't have to drop food till the last week. You know, because your body, remember, when you have muscle, more muscle burns calories, and because you've been training and probably bulking and eating a lot, you've primed your body, you primed your metabolism at using food and burning it. So therefore you're already a furnace. And this is why people that are skinny fat, they have problems with losing body fat, because their body is just not trained to use food, because they probably depleted all their energy, low carb when they start their diet, low calories, high amount of cardio, so therefore it's just very inefficient. So yeah, we put them on 2,000 calories, and if you were 17% body fat and you had a good muscle mass, you could do the same. But I'd say, you know what, you can sit 200 calories below maintenance, mate, to be fair. So about 2-4. Also, we also programmed them 30 minutes daily cardio. Because we did this in about 8 weeks, it was fairly aggressive. But again, when you're leaner, it won't take that long to get in shape. So therefore, it's effective, it's doable, compared to, again, if you're 28, the fatter you are, the more conservative you want to be. So 30 minutes daily cardio, that's every day, as you know. So heart rate 120 to 130. Don't think about what's the fancy cardio routine, the bullshit you see on the internet, mate. Just get your heart rate 120 to 130, because it's the most efficient at burning fat, you know. So that's all that matters. So you can measure using a fitness watch or the metal devices on the treadmill machine. So why we do daily cardio on the incline treadmill? Well, it's very low impact, low stress, low fatigue, so therefore you can do it every day. So this is including rest days. So we put them on a 5-day split, push, pull, legs, chest and back, delts and arms. I'm going to go through how you should be training, applying tempo, range of motion, and intensity in a second. 10k steps, that stayed the same for the whole period. Now the goal weight was 82 kg, 10% body fat. So we realized that, alright, if we get him to 82, he'll be 10%. Again, how to do this, literally watch my beginner to elite condition. But what you do, you have to get your lean body mass and then plus 10%. You can get your lean body mass using a formula, and therefore you'll understand like how long it will take for you to do this. And so the goal was to lose about 1% of your body weight per week. This is what we did. So in rough terms, 0.7 to 1 kg, which is optimal, guys. And as you saw, we didn't lose any muscle. If anything, you look bigger when you're leaner, you know. So therefore, the rate of loss is perfect. Anything more than a kg, you're doing it too much, guys. So since it was very responsive, and since we went pretty aggressive, 2,000 calories, 30 minutes daily cardio, week 1 to week 8, we didn't make no change. Like, if you're dropping, guys, you want to rinse that for as long as possible. You know the saying, when if the tap's working, just keep it on. Keep it on. Yeah, don't be persuaded by TikTok or people that you see in the internet. Oh no, doing this change, bro. Faster means faster. Like if it's working, just keep it. And that's how you want to make changes in your physique. Like if you hit that rate of loss and it's under, so like 0.5, 0.4, then you can make a change. You know, and if you're around this body fat percentage, you could probably increase it. You want to increase it by cardio first. You know, but again, because he was very responsive, and you have a lot of muscle, you can pull it from food. And so week 8, remember how I said technically it took 9 weeks, is because he had 1 week where he fucked up in terms of, I think he ate off plan, the cravings got to him. So looking back again, I didn't have to do this in terms of reducing the calories, because guys, if you stuck to the plan 100%, if you didn't stick to the plan, and it was on you, you don't make no changes for that week, because the calories, it wasn't the calories fault, it wasn't the lack of cardio, it was you. But I made the change anyways because it was 1 week out, so it was like, all right, let's just get the job done and make sure we can actually get to the end goal. So we pulled it from the forms of fats. So when you pull your calories, you don't want to do it more than 200 calories, guys, at a time, one change at a time, you know. So that's about 180 calories in 30 grams of dark chocolate. So you pull it from fats first because it holds the most calories. And then, yeah, we lost 7.75 kg in the end, got down to 82. I mean, technically 9 weeks, 9 weeks, but as you can see, if you didn't fuck up, it would have been 8 weeks. But yeah, it was a very, very good transformation. Now, let's talk about obviously the training, and I'll show you the nutrition that he had. So when clients come work with me, we ask for weekly form kits. Now he had a lot of muscle, so therefore we did not want to lose any muscle, guys. You know, and this is a reason why you should keep food as high as long as possible. Which 2,000 calories for 8 weeks is a good amount of calories, guys. You know, but we look for tempo, range of motion, intensity. Apologies, I don't know why the quality in this video is so shit, but guys, the biggest reason why you will maintain muscle tissue during a cut is how you fucking train. So if you are not sending it with intensity, the last rep, you're increasing your chances to lose muscle, guys. You know, but again, if you want to maintain and if you want to build muscle, if you don't have a lot of muscle, you need to apply tempo. For example, 3 seconds on the way down, control it on the way down. Oh, the quality's got better. Pause. Really feel how your lats work. And one thing when people work with me, guys, is we get them understanding. I educate them through their anatomy. Yeah, they know every muscle group, what exercise they're doing, what it's targeting, and how to target effectively. For example, so then if the function is shoulder adduction and shoulder extension, so shoulder adduction basically means bringing your upper arm down, and then shoulder extension, as you know, extend and bring your upper arm up. So the origin and insertion of the lats, again, a bit of anatomy, it originates across your lower back, pelvis, so your hip, if you want to be simple, and then it inserts on your upper arm, this bone here. So therefore, the function is bringing, the cue is bringing your elbow to your hip. If we bring our elbow to our hip, we're working what our lats does. Remember, it runs across your spine, yeah? So therefore, to help target and isolate the worker muscle, you want to think, this is where range of motion come in. You want to go as deep as possible with elbows to hip, so you can place as much mechanical tension on that muscle. Press the thigh pad into the thigh, so this will help keep your back nice and stable, because you don't want it moving. Lots of people, when they do the lat exercise, they move. For a general rule of thumb, whatever exercise you do with the worker muscle, you want to think, how can I keep everything locked in and stable, and just focus on the worker muscle. And then the last thing is intensity, guys. Like, look at my last rep. Look how long it would take for me to like lift it. And then, to be fair, yeah, I could have gone for another rep. I think probably if you hit, unless you hit the max reps, then you can progress in it. But the rough rule of thumb, you need to be sending it. Let me show you another clip now. So let's show you another example with the leg extension machine. So again, you want to think, what's the function of this exercise, leg extension? Well, it's targeting our quads. The function of the quads is knee extension, straightening your knee. So therefore, again, what's the origin and insertion of the quads? Basically, there's like 4 insertions or origins, but rough rule of thumb, it originates on the thigh bone and it attaches just below your patella, your knee bone, so therefore your shin. So you're thinking of bringing your thigh to your shin. So the cue is lift your toes up and think of just straightening your knee. Yeah, and you want to put your hips back into the seat. Like the only thing that's moving is your knees. Yeah. So again, I tell my clients when they're doing this exercise, just think of driving your feet up, your toes up, and straighten your knee. Yeah, just straighten your knee. Don't even think of like lifting up, yeah, with your knees. Just think of straighten your knee. How to straighten your knee, and then immediately you're just gonna think of toes up, right? And then the tempo is 3 seconds on the way bottom, come all the way down, pause for a second. Your muscle, this works your quads in the shortened, the contracted position, where it's the most heaviest. So therefore, if you're going to get mechanical tension, how to maximize that, which is the main way to build muscle, pause at the second, really feel it. Don't ego lift. This is how you're going to maintain your muscle tissue because you're training hard. And then, look, I'm training a good level of intensity. As you can see in my face, it's painful. This is why people don't like leg day. Yeah, but if you want to build muscle, learn to love your leg day, because this is where you're training with true intensity. As you can see, and then my last rep it gets slow on the way down. Yeah, so a rough rule of thumb to measure intensity is the contraction on the way up should take about 3 seconds, and you should be pulling a stupid face. Like, it should be fucking hurting, guys. And then most importantly, beat what you did from last week. Now, the simple nutrition plan is, again, with your macros, protein, you want to times it by your lean body mass, so by 2.4, because on a body recomp, you don't need that much of protein. People think protein is very sacred, which it is, helps build muscle recovery, which it is, but the biggest thing, again, like I said, that will help build your muscle or retain muscle tissue is through training stimulus, training intensity. So how can we improve training effort? Through more food, through more carbs. That's right, guys. So carbs, we gave him a high carb diet, which you want to fill the rest of your macros, and then fats, you want to put at 20% of this number. So we gave him a high fiber, low protein diet, guys. So 80 grams of oats, 4 eggs, 145 grams of berries, which is what we rang. Which is why, because oats, it digests slowly because it's low in the glycemic index, which means it's just a slow digesting carbohydrate. It has lots of fiber. Look, 8.5 grams of fiber. What does fiber do? Aids fullness, guys. And then you complement that with berries, so therefore your oat bowl looks like you're having a big meal, and it'll keep you satiated. Be it complement that with eggs by itself. You could cook this in fried, boiled, whatever you like it, omelette, and this basically is a good source of protein, healthy fats, and because it's a fattier source of protein, obviously, which comes at a more cost of calories, fats combined with slow digesting carbohydrate means you will feel fuller for longer because it digests slowly. So therefore, this is why it's not good having a high fat, low carb diet, high carb diet, before you go in gym, because you're going to feed it. So therefore, you need to give it like 2 hours to digest. But this is optimal in a dieting phase, keeps you satiated, so you're eating real foods, guys. Again, in my full beginner to knowing everything to elite shape, it talks about nutrition a bit more in depth. But this is something that you can run very efficient. Now, lunch is basically the same as dinner: chicken, rice, vegetables. Why? Well, meal prep is easy because the last thing you want when you're trying to lose fat, guys, is food decision. Decision fatigue. What your next meal is going to be. You don't want that. You want to minimize cravings with real food, chicken, rice, mixed vegetables, and you want things as simple as possible. So meal prepping is very easy. Pre-workout, you can have some fruit, apple, banana, berries. So this is faster digesting carbohydrates. Post-workout shake. And then meal 6, 0% fat, got berries, dark chocolate. As you can see, 30 grams is about 180 calories. So that's the change that you will pull off fats first when your weight loss starts to plateau, because it has the most calories, because it's very nutrient dense, isn't it? Dark chocolate, fats are. So therefore, again, you want to feel like you're eating as much as you can. And this is what the diet does. It's a whole lot of food, whole lot of meals. But to be fair, it's not really. Like, you could even organize meals together, adjusting to your schedule, like lunch and like dinner and meal 6, or breakfast and lunch, depending on your schedule again, guys. But again, these foods are designed to be boring and not low in palatability. Because the reason why most of you will fuck up on your diet is because, one, you'll just eat fit foods under your macros every day, which are probably tasty, so you want to eat more of it, and 2, you're just making it harder for yourself. Like, just this phase of your life, you're going to be disciplined. eat the same meals every day, and you'll see what it could do for you. Trust me, simplicity is key, because then you're not really tracking calories. All you're doing is weighing the same foods every day. So yes, guys, that's how we got the result. Hopefully you understood that. Again, if I'm not, if you're finding myself struggling to understand, just literally comment in the section so I can improve my videos. Maybe I need to speak slower. Any advice, I just say it, guys. I won't take any criticism. I'll view it as constructives. But yeah, that's how we got to the condition. Now, if you want me to do this for you, literally book a call, and they will set you up so we can make you looking like the 10% body fat guys.